Hey, everybody. I'm here with my good friend Johnny Gioeli. But before we get started, let me just say I'm grateful that you're here. If you're watching this on anything else other than YouTube, do me a favor. Go to this link below. Go to youtube.com/@accesskevin. Subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you really like this channel, you can also become a member. So join this channel and you can help sustain this project from this point forward. This is episode 276 in the last 2 years since the pandemic kind of shut down the touring world. And I would not be here if it weren't this sponsor below. 5-Star Guitars is based in Beaverton, Oregon. If you're a guitarist or you're interested in playing guitar, check out this link. Go to 5starguitars.com/allaccesslive. Everything you see there, you can save 15% off by using the promo code of allaccess15. And also, they're based in Oregon, which means that there's no sales tax. So if you want to save a ton of dough, go to 5-Star Guitars and let them know that I sent you. Now, you can also go to accesskevin.com and see all 275 episodes that I've done before. So please do me a favor, check those episodes out, subscribe to the channel, and now business is done. It's time for some fun. I see a ton of you guys here in the chat, all the way from his abode on the East Coast. I've got Johnny Gioeli. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, great, Kevin. Good to see you, brother.
Man,
how's it going, man?
It's so good. I get to fanboy here right now. This is awesome.
I was fanboying watching that intro. That intro was awesome. I was like, wow. What a business we're in, right?
We're fortunate.
I mean, it's not even business. It's just I should restate that. What a life we have.
Amen.
Right?
Amen. Yeah, man. Yeah. You know the adage that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? So
it's exactly right.
Let me do this. I'm going to make you bigger here because people need to see your beautiful face there. So that's much better. The hair is it's nicely coiffed. You've got a little. I see you've got soundproofing there. So this must be a little booth that you can actually do a little bit of demo recording.
Yeah, I do a little studio something or other right around here.
Nice, man. How much? Because I know I will get into projects. I mean, I know that you and I just discussed. You've got the Axel Rudy Pell stuff that you've done for a long time. Of course, you and I got familiar with Johnny Gioeli's voice, man, from Hardline, of course. But my kid, I have two boys, 21, 23. They're super psyched when I found out that I was talking to the voice of Sega, right? So Sonic the Hedgehog, man. But how about like Crush 40, of course, is the project that you were doing all the Sega stuff. But what else is Johnny Gioeli doing right now musically that you've got a mic set up for?
Oh man, so I'm always in this cave, always, bro, and so blessed. I am busier than a one-legged kickboxer. If you get that visual. So first, I want to say shout out to all my crushers out there.
Yeah,
my Crush 40 Discord. It's not mine. It's the communities. These are the greatest fans. Where'd you go, Kevin?
Well, you know what? I was trying to put the here. Let's do this because you mentioned the crushers. I was wanting them to be able to see. You've got so many people here in the chat that are talking about the Crush 40
all around the world, man. Crush 40 has been one of my most favorite project. It's not even a project. It's been my life, man. For 25, 26 years. What's the math on that? 1998. Yeah, something like that. And
wait, you were born then?
These fans are forever. They're forever fans, man. They don't go away, nor do I want them to.
Right.
We've got this killer Crush 40 Discord, and I pop on when I can. Again, I'm so super busy, and I love talking to all these people because they're genuine, they're faithful, they love this music, they love this community. It's like our own little underground cult. What you want to call it.
Well, they are blowing up the chat right now. It's just really fun to see. So hello, crushers. I'm glad to see you guys here. Do you do like conventions and that kind of thing for like Sega or like the gaming conventions to be able to connect with those fans?
Yeah, so Crush 40, that project actually started in 1998 when Jun Sonoy, who is an employee of Sega, I'm not, I'm independent contractor.
Yeah.
But Jun reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I love your Hardline album and I'd love to hear your voice on a game." And I'm like, "A game? What's that?
Yeah.
So, making a very long story, bro, short, I got involved. June and I wrote probably some of the most iconic and epic gaming songs from a Sonic the Hedgehog era.
Yeah.
And the 2000s, it really blew up with Sonic Adventure, Adventure 2, and I don't care who you talk to in any part of this world. If you say Crush 40, Sonic the Hedgehog, Live and Learn, I Am, What
Yeah.
I'm Made Of, these kids are going to know, kids, adults, everyone
Right.
are going to know
Yeah.
these songs. And it's just great. Yeah. So I do some events, do private shows and things like that. And we are working on a full symphony tour. It's been in the works for over a year now. We're getting closer and closer. So Crush 40 is by no means over.
Okay.
It's like going to be reborn again, and I'm getting a little tired. Like, I missed Wheel of Fortune to do this, bro. I'm just letting you know.
Well, you
I don't know
talked
how many more years Vanna White has.
right. That's
With
true,
Leonard,
man. Yeah. Well,
but I missed Wheel of Fortune for you, Kev. No,
I
just kidding.
I appreciate
All
that,
good.
man. Like, well, there is a DVR. There's such thing as a DVR, right? So you can go
Oh
back
yeah,
and.
forgot about that.
But I'm glad that you mentioned these kids. The cool thing about connecting with the video game era and music, I know for us, for a flock of seagulls, when Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out, A Flock of Seagulls was prominently on this 80s channel. So right now, we've got three different generations of people come to our shows. We've got 15-year-olds and 35-year-olds and 60-year-olds that are all at the show
Yeah,
together, and they know the songs because of the games. And I think there's, because as rock and rollers, man, we're kids at heart, right? So we never
yeah,
have to grow up.
exactly.
But
Yeah, it's true.
but
It's
when you
true.
go out, are you Johnny, the voice of Crush 40? Are you, like, because June figured he found you as Hardline guy, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously you've done a lot more than just that too. But uh,
yeah.
I'm curious to know about how your persona gets, sort of branded that way.
So I don't really know. I don't know who I am, bro, anymore. No. Here's what I here's I need therapy. No. Here's what I know. Here's what I know. Everything that I've done, I've been so amazingly blessed. Here's why. Because everything from Hardline, Axel Rudy Pell, Crush 40, my new project, Enemy Eyes,
Yeah,
everything cross pollinates. So the fans who are Crush 40 fans, and as you can see your chat blowing up,
yeah,
um, yes, I'm going to be touring Latin America again. Definitely. I'm just reading some of these
sweet.
questions over here. That's going to happen in the fall. But
Oh,
anyway,
right
they
on.
all the bands cross pollinate, all the fans cross pollinate. If you're a Crush 40 fan, they figured out that oh wow, Johnny's also in this group called Hardline, and I call them all kids because when you're 55, anyone younger than you is a kid.
Right.
So yeah, man, it just for some reason it just works, and I have. For me, it's easy to pop into Crush 40, to pop into Axel, my metal stuff,
Yeah.
to pop into Enemy Eyes, which is kind of a little obscure metal, and back to commercial Hardline. I don't know. I love music. You asked me the question about what else I do in here.
Yeah.
I do a lot of side projects, so I like working with other artists. And now, with this thing called the internet and the information superhighway, it's just that, man. I am able to connect with incredible musicians all around the world now.
Yeah.
Where before, when we were coming up, bro, in the business, we didn't. I remember we did have a cell phone in 1980. Shoot, I'm trying to go back. 87, 88. We had one of those wired cell phones in this old tour bus that we took across the country from Pennsylvania to California to become rock stars, right?
Right.
And that thing was like $1 a minute, literally. But
Yeah.
that's really like we couldn't you just couldn't connect with someone in Sri Lanka.
Right.
You just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So now it's opened up this massive world of being able to work with great musicians. There's so much talent out there. It's insane. So it's my quest to work with as many people as I possibly can that that I strike a synergy with and have fun with and I only take on projects with people that I like, because mostly people suck. But I sort of I vet out the good ones, and
Yeah.
and no, I'm just
No,
kidding.
you know what?
Most people are
I'm
good.
glad you brought that up, man, because like there's so much. I
What, that
think
people suck?
well, okay, so because a lot of times, man, when you're in the business, you get a lot of people that say, "Hey, man, I want you to check out my new project," and you get to be diplomatic in the way that you can respond if it does indeed suck, right? So for me, my first thought is, all right, so how am I get if they ask my opinion, how do I help them grow?
Yeah,
Where first of all, where's the positive that I can find in whatever they've got going on? So yeah,
yeah, right on.
I watch your live show, man, and looks like you got your moves down. I mean, the choreography is great, man.
Yeah.
But if the song's not there, right? I mean, that's where you've got to say, because I all the time. I mean, for me, I'm a sucker for an amazing bridge. That's for me. That's what makes a song. Of
Oh,
course, the hook is the chorus, but if it doesn't have a bridge, the song doesn't go anywhere.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
I,
yeah, and the way I think about it too, Kev, is like of course, every week I'm plummeted with songs. Hey, Johnny, would you check this out? We check that out. Can we do this together? Blah blah blah. The whole thing, and I welcome it all. I really do. But if the song, I put it this way: I never say the song is bad, because I find art in everything. Like,
cool.
I used to be so like laser focused on just rock. And it's only like within the last 5 years where I actually have a playlist. Like, I may even listen to Flock of Seagulls once in a while.
Really? Yeah. Like,
There's a song in there, yeah, of
yeah.
course. And so I've broadened my horizons. But the way I do it is, and it's honest. If I can't bring the song value,
Yeah.
then I can't work with you on it. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Yeah.
if the song isn't to where I know that I can bring it and make it something, then I can't do that project. So I pick and choose, but I'm always busy, man. Like, I live in this room, and
Yeah.
that's fine with me, because it's during the pandemic, when so many people were struggling, it was just a horrible
Yeah.
time. For me, it was like, whew, thank God I don't have to travel, and I can sit in this room and I can create. And that's how Enemy Eyes was done, a Hardline
Yeah.
album, all kinds of stuff was happening in here. The insane room.
You say you don't leave, but you and I both know that you've had some other opportunities to get out of that room, right? We were talking about your fishing, like you were just on the sea bass boat
Yeah,
this morning.
I'm a little. So it's way too cold here. I'm in Connecticut. It's
Yeah,
way too cold for fish. They're like half asleep, like I am right now,
yeah,
and they're just sitting there. But you know what? For me, getting on my boat and just getting out and looking at nature and just even floating. Sometimes I
yeah,
just tinker and
yeah,
just disappearing. I put my phone on like do not disturb and just chill. We all need that a little bit. We need that escape. And for
yeah.
me, outdoors, that's my real escape. That, and going for a long run, and I run every day. My Discord people are gonna laugh at me, because when I'm popping on, like, guys, I gotta go for a run. I try to run like a 5K every day.
Do you? Okay.
And so and so I'm like, hey guys, really, I got to get on a run, because if I don't do it, I'm gonna go, you know what, forget it, I'll do it tomorrow. So anyway, they're probably gonna laugh at me. That and my water, they laugh at me because I drink an extreme amount of water every
It's
day. Yeah,
it's important. I mean, for your voice, that's
yeah,
one thing too that I notice, and I think you probably have a perspective on this that a lot of people don't get. When we were out touring with a lot of the bands from the '80s, especially, I'm blown away when a band can still sing in the same key. And like guys, we Starship shows quite a bit, and Mickey Thomas, the dude can hit all the notes at
yeah,
74 that he could
that's
back in the
insane.
day, and that blows my mind because
Yeah,
that's a muscle that you
me too.
lose, right? Even if you practice and you warm up, most of those guys that it's gone, right? So I mean,
Right, right. Well,
hydrating is.
yeah,
But how else do you kind of
yeah.
maintain this?
I think I've always said to all the fans, when I can't sing like the album, or I can't perform the way um, they've known me to perform, that's when I'm going to retire. When
Yeah,
I don't sound the same, then I'm not interested in just being this, oh, there's Johnny, just like, I mean, look, I don't want to name names, but there are some very, very big rock stars
oh,
that can't sing anymore, but it's
yeah,
still really cool to see them on stage. You're like, wow, that's, yeah, I didn't say their name. You know what I mean? It's still cool to see them. but I don't want to be that guy, bro. I
Right.
want to be able to sing because that's my life. And so when this goes, I'm done. So thank God there's two things that still work for me: my penis and my voice.
Oh,
Thank
you
God.
win. Bonus. Yeah, man. Yeah, like
Yeah, I win.
yeah,
I had to make sure you were awake, bro. You're killing
absolutely.
it.
No, I caught that, man. I don't need to ask you how you maintain your, your virility, but I can ask you about your voice. Yeah. Okay. So let's go there, man. Well, all right, kids, if you're watching this, let's go back to 1992. All right.
92. Yeah,
So
young band.
I had already seen Todd play in David Lee Roth's band the year before. I was a huge Castronovo fan, man. Of course, everything that he did with Shrapnel. From 16 on, I became like the biggest Deen Castronovo fan, and now we've become great friends. I love seeing him and Todd out there kicking ass at the Journey gig, right?
Yeah, Journey Line.
Yeah,
Call them Journey Line.
Journey Line, very good. Yeah, man, we got half the band.
Neal, Todd, Deen. We're just missing myself and Joey, and then we got Journey Line.
So speaking of Joey, all right. So, dear friend of mine, at that point, 92, I was playing in a band. I just graduated college in Montana, of all places. Another place you mentioned that you love and you want to go visit. I was playing in this band that was doing club gigs, and this Taking Me Down single comes out. Our guitarist walks in. He's been the biggest Journey fan. Craig Hensel comes into me and he said, dude, you've got to hear this song. It was a time where the greatest bands, I mean, of that era, I know bands like White Lion, Winger, like they were a little bit more progressive bands were out. So they were very attractive men, but they're also playing, cool progressive kind of music that was more challenging than just, kind of vapid stuff. And heard the record and start to finish. Now I'm going to say it. I'm going to fanboy out, man. Hands down, the Double Eclipse album, it's certainly on my Mount Rushmore of records. Start to finish, every song is so badass. There's not a month, I think, since 1992 that I've gone in my life that I haven't listened to that record at some point. Some songs that really stood out to me, changed my life. I think Hands of Time is that and Still Loving You from Scorps are my favorite all-time rock ballads of all time. I think Neal's solo on that song is probably the greatest solo performance. And
one take, bro. One take.
Shut up.
Solo in one take.
There's no way.
All those solos are one take. He tried to do it again. Like, no, man, I can do it better. Like, Neal, that was incredible. Now let me try it again. And then he tried again. And like, Neal, listen to the. Wow. Okay, man, keep that. First, he's incredible.
God,
that band was like a nuclear explosion, bro.
It's the bit. I reached out to that guitar.
Thank you for saying all that stuff, bro. That's still I still get shy from that. Thank you.
You should.
My lifeblood.
And I'm going to ask you about what you put into that. But I reached out to that guy today, the guy that introduced me to the record. And I told him, man, you're not going to believe it. That many years ago, you introduced me to the Hardline record. I've got Johnny on the show tonight. I'm super excited about it. If you've got questions or whatever, let me know. But he said, well, without a doubt, it should have been a diamond record. There is no reason on earth that record didn't go so many multi-platinum, times. But we know kind of what happened there, right? I mean, it was the time was changing in the industry. But before we get into that, I did reach out to Todd Jensen. I was asking him, hey, give me your favorite memories. Tell me your memories about those days. And so Todd's out with Journey, right? I think he's playing tonight. But he wrote back and he said, that was an amazing time, Kevin. The magic of the 80s rock scene was still very much intact. Now, regarding Journey, although Deen and I had grown up together, Hardline was our first time together as a band. I met Neal and Steve Perry 10 years earlier with my Portland band Sequel. We opened up for Journey in Autumn Stadium in Eugene, but Hardline was the beginning of my musical brotherhood with Neal and Deen. Please give my love to Johnny. And threw the little fist bump there. So that's from Todd Jensen.
Cool. Hey, Todd, that's awesome.
Every time I've talked to Deen, he's had incredible things to say about you. So this many years later, right? We're 30 years later, and after the recording of this thing, you and I both know that musicians can either come or go. with contention or drama in bands, songwriting, and that kind of stuff. I watched the videos from those days, and if you guys weren't best friends on stage, you certainly faked it really well, man. It looked like there was a lot of real positivity. So can you tell me a little bit about because you mentioned that was your lifeblood, putting the record together, but the era. Tell me about the assemblage, how you guys wrote songs together. Tell me about what your plan was to take over the world.
Yeah, man, that's a difficult question to answer in a short amount of time, but I'll give you the terse answer. Yeah, I mean, I was a young punk. I was probably I was what 23, 22, 23 years old, and my sister was married to Neal. They were together. They were together for about 8 years,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, not too many people know this. A
Right.
lot do, but not too many. Anyway, and we would always have our holidays, together. I was born in New York and then raised in Pennsylvania. I think it was witness protection, but my dad's not talking. But
Right.
anyway, last name
You
Gioeli.
you blew it.
So, uh, yeah, sorry. And so, um, my brother and I had just gotten out of this band. We just sort of broke up this band called Brunette. A bunch of long-haired guys
Huge
took
band.
over. Yeah, huge band took over the Hollywood scene, but we never got a record deal. We didn't have the songs, man. We just didn't have the right songs. We had the following, but not the songs. And you need everything.
Was it you
So
and your brother writing those songs together?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All
Well, I
right.
was I was the primary writer. He assisted. I was the
Okay.
primary writer, and I wasn't. I was just not ready. Just I can admit that. Just songs
Okay.
were not there.
But who had the better
So
hair?
my brother, I think, did.
Oh,
I
okay. At
mean,
that point.
I mean, it depends. If you're into straight or curly, I don't know. I had better curly. He had better straight hair.
Yeah.
So he was the lady killer, that guy. So uh, yeah, so we were back having a holiday gathering in Pennsylvania, and my brother and I decided that no more bands. We're like, we're not doing any more bands. We're done with bands. That's it. We're gonna do like this hard rock Nelson kind of project where two
Okay.
brothers. It was going to be called Brothers,
Yeah.
and so um, we started working, and we never asked Neal for any help with anything. And Neal's was and is like a brother. We can I still text with Neal and stuff like that. And we were playing this song, was working on this song that I wrote called Face the Night. Now, we
Mm.
recorded it, but it never made it onto the Hardline album, but it's sitting in a vault. It's
Okay.
it's unmixed, but it's there. And Neal comes running into the kitchen. He's like, let me see the guitar. Let me see the guitar. And he starts doing these chords, which I'm like, never even seen before, and
Yeah.
just took that song, bro, to a whole new level. This guy is
Wow.
just musically unbelievable. He can hear it. He can hear the layering. He's just such an incredible writer and player and musician. So, long story short, we said, "Hey Neal, would you be interested in producing this album that we're going to put together? We're going to demo some stuff, and we're going to go out after a record deal called, this thing called Brothers." He goes, "Man, I'm really busy because I'm working on the Bad English
Oh,
second
man.
album." But he goes, "I'll tell you what. You come to my house every day like a job," and I did it. "And you write all day, and then when I come home from the studio, we'll review what you've written for that day, and we'll work on stuff." Now, Neal is probably one of the hardest working musicians. He doesn't need to work this hard,
Right.
but he loves to work this
Sure.
hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'd come back 10, 11 o'clock at night from the studio all day from early morning. He
Wow.
was always in the studio working, and he'd come home and he'd say, "Okay, man, let's grab a little food and let's get to work." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm exhausted."
You got
And
the
then we'd
understudy.
review everything. Yep. And so I go, "Okay, man, I wrote this thing called, Change of Heart. I feel the change of heart."
Yeah.
And you go, "Okay, man, I like that. Let's work on." And then we would then round out the songs from there. And we created this process. That was really our writing system, was Neal and I, and then I would take it off the reels. Yeah, see how I'm
Yeah.
dating myself?
Right.
I'd take it off the reels, and then my brother and I would lyrically work. We would go wherever we had to go. We'd go to the beach, we'd go to a restaurant, we'd go wherever to escape from the studio. and just sit and work on lyrics and stuff like that.
Wow.
And that's how we demoed all that Hardline music. So every song you hear on Double Eclipse came from working in Neal's house and him coming home, and then what happened was he just grew so attached to. We all grew attached to each other, of course.
Yeah.
But to the music, and he was like, I don't want to do this bad English pop stuff anymore. I want to show the people that I can really rock, and that he did. And he goes, I want to join the band. And I said, no.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No. No, you're not joining my band. Oh, that's awesome.
I said, no, man, we have a different vision. I hope you don't mind. We have a different vision for this. It's because, again, I was just brutalized in Hollywood with Brunette and coming from. We were so broke, bro, in Brunette. Broke, bro, in Brunette. Say that fast.
Right.
That we would like label our nectarines. Like if we had a piece of fruit, like that's Johnny's, and put an arrow, like don't touch that fruit, man. That's all I got today.
So financially broke, but probably emotionally broke too. I mean, that's the ringer.
Yeah, man, torn down.
Yeah.
And so a band environment was like the last thing I wanted to do. So Neal went to my sister. Was like, man, I can't believe that. He's like, I'm Neal Schon. He doesn't want me in the band. But anyway, we thought about it. My brother and I put our heads together and said, okay, let's give a band. It wasn't about Neal. It was about the band environment. Of course, I know I'm a huge Journey fan, huge Neal fan. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I had a piano and I'd be like, don, 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 don. He'd go,
oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
That's Neal Schon.
Right.
It's freaking Neal Schon, man. The hair picked out.
Yeah.
That's Neal Schon.
Right. Yeah. He may have had bigger hair than you, right? So that
he had bigger hair. And it was
Santana days.
Herbert. Yeah, the Santana days. So it was Herbie Herbert, who was his guitar tech at the time, then became his manager, became a manager of the Stars. Herbie would literally pick out Neal's hair.
Oh no.
Your little Santana Journey trivia for you. Yep.
That
Okay.
That was listed on his job title, right? He cuts his hair pick and probably cuts a steak for him too, right? So that
hair pick and guitar pick.
Right.
So that's how it happened. So we said, Neal, come on in, and then Neal goes, I don't want to do this bad English anymore, and I still feel badly. And I just talked to Deen about this, bro. This is like full transparency podcast. I have to I've carried this for how many years? 30-something years. I have to apologize to Jonathan Cain because I feel responsible for breaking up Bad English. That was a great band. And I feel responsible for it. I at least want to say I'm sorry, man, because really Neal's attention went just right to the other, just like where I'd meet him in the Bad English studios, like, check this out, Neal. And Neal's like, that's fucking great. The whole thing. And then all the rest of the Bad English guys are like,
oh, wow, really?
I still feel badly about it. I've carried it this one of these days when at a Journey show or something. I'll apologize to Jonathan about that. I'm sure he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he's probably okay where he's at right now. I mean,
probably okay.
I think his wife Paula will probably say, Johnny, we've all forgiven you. But at that point, because I mean, we do shows with John Waite all the time, right? So with A Flock of Seagulls, and it's amazing how time has changed for a lot of those guys. Like John was very humble. He came to our dressing room and he said, tell me you're going to do Wishing. I love that song from the 80s. And I'm like, dude, you're John Waite, like this, you're this master songwriter. But I love that he recognized the songs, didn't matter who, put those together. But when I think about the assemblage of Bad English, so those songs were incredible, of course. And
incredible. Yeah.
The star power that they had, of course, helped as well, right? I mean, of course, Neal Schon and John Waite had done his stuff for sure. Jonathan Cain, and Deen, just seems to be around every awesome project that ever seems to happen. It's just the way he is, right?
Deen is Neal's guy.
Yeah,
and I'll never forget, Kevin. So when we decided to put this thing together, Neal literally called Deen and said, you're with me. And it's like, okay, man,
Yeah.
that's it. And then so wherever Neal is, that's what he wants Deen with him. I mean, Deen is, who wouldn't? He's incredible.
It's as a drummer, it's not fair, right? Because I'm such a huge fan of his drumming and knowing his personality. You know, he's got a heart of gold, man. I mean, I've seen what he does with kids and trying to help them out. But then the dude's voice, right? It's between you guys that have this ridiculously awesome voice. Both of you guys you got the rasp, right? This is not me kissing your ass, right? Like, you know, I'm a huge Johnny Gioeli fan, and I love.
Thanks, bro.
You've got, like I mentioned, Klaus before. Like Klaus, I think I'd heard too that you were a big Scorps fan when you were younger, right? So
massive Scorps fan.
Yeah, I mean that was my thing, right? Klaus Meine was my favorite singer, and the guys that kind of derived a sound from that, like I had Robin McCauley on the show recently. Robin's another guy that I heard.
Love Robin.
And you guys both, you've got a real similar tonality in the way that you got that rasp. Now, is that something that you had from the beginning, or did you modify your voice to kind of like, really, that was just it?
No, it just happens. Yeah. Whoa! It just happens. Oh, it just happens, man. I don't know what the hell happened. It just happens. Thank God it happened.
Amen, brother. It's like, I may just have you just,
I got to tell you a funny Klaus story. So I've played with the Scorpions quite a few times, and we did some like late night, kind of like old David Letterman show in Bulgaria, of all places. And I love Bulgaria, by the way. I'll be there in most of July and spending in. I might as well get a house in Bulgaria.
Wow.
I love it, man. Great audience. Okay, that's another story. So anyway, I'm sitting with Klaus, and we're having dinner. Scorpions and Axel Rudy Pell Band. We just did this late night TV show, and we're sitting eating. And I want to say something. I'm a fan, man. You know what I mean? Look, I'm a musician. I'm a whatever you call me.
I'm with you.
Rock star, whatever this thing is, right? But I'm like, I got to say something. So now I don't want to make him feel old. I don't want to say, hey, man, when I was a kid.
Right.
But really, when I was a kid, I was listening to Klaus, right? So I said, Klaus, I put it this way, bro. I said, you were a massive inspiration. What do you say? Your voice, your sound, your longevity. And he goes, well, Johnny, that's dynamite. Freaking ripped it out, bro. I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God. Well, see, he did that to you, and you're doing the same thing to me. The people are here on the chat, and they're like, this is Johnny jump scare every time you light one of those up. But yeah, man.
Watch this. Right. You ready?
Yep.
Live and learn, hanging on the edge of tomorrow. Now watch the kids chat. Watch these chats.
I'm watching it. Go.
My living learners. There we go. Watch. There you go. Here it comes.
Yeah, buddy. That's so good. Like Vanilla Moon. You do have a ton of fans here. You just reminded me as a huge fan of this. Yeah, the nerdy Nico. Live and learn. All the chatters are going. This is the most this is the most recent Klaus picture that I just found. That Scorpions 1974. That's probably the one that they wish they could get back, But
I was on tour, and I don't like to eat before a show because I like to climb things, and I'm still running like an animal.
Yeah.
And the big thing that I do is I wring out my shirt at the end of the night and just pours to show the people how much I want to give of myself to them, because every ticket, every person in that venue is escaping from whatever they're dealing with in their life, and they're indulging and just diving deep into the music for that night. And I want to give them an experience where they go home and go, holy shit, that Johnny gave everything. And I really try to do that as much as I can. So I have my meals prepared for after the show. And I have everything's labeled and it's in the kitchen, ready after the venue, right? And I'm like, okay, I get all showered after the show and I'm done. And I go backstage, and Herman Rarebell, drummer of Scorpions, eating. I said, Herman, where did you get that? He goes, I don't know. I found it's over here. I said, let me see. I said, it says Johnny Gioeli on it, man. You're eating my freaking food. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Anyway, we still joke about it today. I said, Hermie, you owe me a damn freaking meal. You ate my damn meal.
Do
Oh,
you
it was
still?
beautiful. Schnitzel and
Oh,
he ate my damn meal. We
at
still
that,
joke about it.
you know, yeah, he's in the Scorps, man. You know, like
What are you gonna do?
he took a pass. You got so many. Like, yeah. That's the okay. These are the things that people don't get. They don't understand. When you're out on the road, you really take pride in if you've got good catering, which is very rare, right? I mean, unless you've got a killer rider and catering is just taking care of you. For the most part, backstage food is sandwiches, pizza. You know, you'll have cold cuts. You'll get a fruit plate. That's kind of like the primary like food option, and it's hard to eat
Okay,
well.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. First of all, we have to clear up something that you just said. And you're originally you're a West Coast guy, but you said the word cold cuts. People
Uh-oh.
don't know what cold cuts are. Cold cuts, that's an East Coast saying. So for all of you listening, cold cuts are lunch meats like
Right.
sliced turkey, sliced ham,
Right.
roast beef. East Coast, we say cold cuts. That blew me away, Kevin.
Yeah.
You know the word cold cuts?
There's
Cold
isn't that sad that like tour education is what I get. That's my like that damned be that college degree, man. But
But you're
but
right.
but it's tough. I
But
mean,
you're
because
right,
like
bro.
you
Yeah.
said you don't like to eat before shows, and if you don't eat before a show and you're playing in some obscure place where there's not even an opportunity to get something for late night food, you gotta prep, man. So like,
Yeah,
tell me
it's
what it is
true.
that you prep for your meals for afterward. What do you do to you get a heavy
So,
protein meal?
yeah, it's well, I wouldn't say heavy. It's small meals. So
Okay.
on the road, when if I'm gone for like a month or two, I'm down 15 to 20 pounds, bro. Between the sweating and the
Yeah.
2 hour show, and then I'm like an idiot. I still run on the road. I mean, all I got to do is thank God. You know what? I shouldn't even say it. I should knock on some wood here, but sometimes I'm running. I'm going, dude. If you twist an ankle,
Oh yeah.
you're in the middle of a sold out tour. What are you doing, you dummy? But dummies don't think. We still run.
Right.
But yeah, I have a big breakfast, bro. That's
Okay.
so we all wake up. Let's take an Axel Rudy Pell tour.
Okay.
We've been together for 25, 26. Yeah, it's my 26th year, I think.
Oh,
26,
crazy.
27, somewhere in there. Yeah, it's incredible where that time went. And we know each other so well. And we have Bobby Rondinelli on drums.
Really?
Freddie knows
Oh,
yeah, Bobby
dude,
Rondinelli's the
Bobby's a
drummer.
wicked drummer, man.
Yeah.
Another East
Bobby's just
Coaster.
and we all yeah, another East Coast, Long Island, man. How you doing?
Yeah.
So I can see Long Island in the morning. I waved. I go, hey, Bobby. And I know he's over there. But
Nice.
we so many years on the road, you learn how to just like a company, how to work with people,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So like the bass player of Axel, I know not to say a word to him until he has a cup of coffee. Like nothing. Don't even just go. That's it. Hello. Don't even say good morning. Just
Yeah.
right. And our bus is like an ambulance. We got one guy with the CPAP machine. I've got
Okay.
steam rolling. We got diabetics. We got all kinds of shit going on the bus. We're old. No, it's cool. But the road is interesting for me. I have a big breakfast, bro, and then I really don't have any lunch. I'm quiet. I barely talk to my family.
Mm.
We do a lot of waving. It's fun. I save everything I can for the show. And my
Wow.
wife, God bless her, is so understanding and so incredible because sometimes I'll text and say, I just don't want to talk today. I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the life, man. The life is preserving it all for the show. I don't go out and party. I don't do any of
Yeah.
that stuff. I think a lot of that, that lifestyle that I chose, more on the health side of things you really supported the longevity because man, I'm 55, but I don't feel it, bro, at all. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like I decided I'm going to start like next October when I turn 56. I'm not going to do it. I'm going 54. I'm going the other way
Yeah,
because
man.
we're all gonna end up drooling like little babies anyway.
That's
So I'm
right.
going to go the other. I'm going to go the other way.
The Benjamin Button
Because
syndrome.
that's it, man. I don't feel 55, and I think it's just because I enjoy what I do. I love all these people. We have such a great time. All these different bands, all the people that you've mentioned, guys like Robin McCauley. I did a show with him in Bulgaria. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, we did a big festival. I mean, I'm just so blessed, man, to be around all these great musicians and all these great people. I could go on and on about
But you
that.
know what? Okay, so here's the thing, man, and this is musician to musician, right? You've mentioned some things that I totally resonate with. When we do these shows, I feel a sense of responsibility, right? When people are there and they've paid for a ticket and they've flown in, or they've gotten hotel rooms, or they've gotten babysitters, or taken time off of work, I feel a sense of responsibility that I too want to give them an opportunity to escape the mundane part of their
Yeah.
life, the drama, the tax collector, the bill collector, whatever, whatever kind of stuff is going on in their life. And you see the response from people when you give that, right? Especially, and I'm thinking that you probably connect this. Lately, we've been doing a ton of shows that are all ages. And for me, the greatest experience ever is when you can connect with a kid who may have been that Johnny and Joey Gioeli, from Long Island, at 15, when they were confused by life, whatever, life was tough for them,
Yes.
and music gave
Yes.
them an opportunity to escape. And
Yes.
so,
I'm gonna
I,
absolutely, man.
you haven't taken that for granted. You could see that. I mean, even with the people that are
No,
watching here,
no.
they see that you're
Let
legitimate, you're
Kevin,
connected.
Kevin, let me tell you something, bro. You said it so perfectly. I feel I have a responsibility to
Yeah,
those people because I know what their daily lives, can be.
yeah.
And it's important to me. I'm pulling up why I'm looking this way is because I'm pulling up a picture I want to show you that kind of
Okay.
sums this all up, and I'll find it. But I still, after all these years, now I've been performing since I'm 11 years old professionally.
Wow.
Professionally means like being paid to perform, right?
Right.
And I still count down the hours to the show. I don't get nervous, but I get like, okay, 6 more hours. Okay, 5 more hours. Okay, 4 more hours. I do that every day, man.
Mm,
Every single show because
love it.
I do feel responsible, um, and I want to make a great show. And I know that life is expensive. These tickets are expensive. I'm doing a new thing, bro. I'm
Okay.
doing a new thing. I might as well announce it on your show. I'm no longer bringing merchandise that is so stupidly expensive to shows. If you come to my show, you're going to get a coupon. Anyone who comes to my show is special, and they're going to get a coupon where they can go on to my new johnnygmerch.com store, and they can buy Crush 40 shirts, Hardline shirts, everything at a discount because you're part of my life and part of my show. And so I'm not carrying shirts anymore and doing that thing. I'm just some things I'm just not doing anymore.
Did I hit that right? JohnnyGmerch.com? Did I hit the URL there? Good.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect, man. Yeah, I'm glad that you bring that
JohnnyGmerch.com.
up. Because what people don't get, right, when they go to a show and they see the merch booth, they walk by it and they come to the show, they want to either during the show or right after the show, they go to the merch booth, they want to get a t-shirt, they want to get that stuff signed. What they don't realize is that when you're traveling, especially if you go overseas or you're flying, it is so expensive to ship the stuff,
Oh,
to carry, even
oh,
check bags, man. It's nuts. And it's
no, it's
not that
terrible.
you don't want to absorb that cost, but it's a great way. I love the idea that you present them an opportunity where they can still get the merch. They do feel
Yep.
special. It keeps your lights on, right? And still
Yes.
makes them feel
Yep.
connected. You've got, I mean, you've done a really smart thing in that you've sort of mobilized your Johnny G Army. I love that these people out here are
Johnny
saying,
G Army. I love
yeah,
that.
they're all saying here, like, I want to be Johnny when I grow up. And if,
Oh, they're
I,
greatest. Oh, here it
well,
is, bro. Here it
okay.
is, bro. I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but I
Yeah,
have to show
please
you this.
do it.
Every time I think about stopping and just going, you know what, it's enough. I have 101 albums, Kevin, released worldwide.
Oh
101
my
albums.
God. Wow.
Yeah. Like I don't have enough wall space in the house for all the albums. And then I go, okay, I think maybe I'm tired. You know what I mean? Traveling, it's not the playing, it's not the performing. The traveling,
Yeah.
it can be brutal, man. The
Amen.
time changes and this and that and the other. And then I get this. I hope this girl doesn't mind. I don't think she will.
Oh, look at this, man. That's it. That's what it's about right there.
Yeah.
Your music
See,
saved me. If you guys are listening
your
and not
music
seeing
saved me.
this, so that's a picture of Johnny with a
Yeah.
fan, and she's got this poster that says, "Your music saved me." So obviously you had a moment with her. So tell me about that experience. What was her story?
Well, man, I'm telling you, she's one of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that have come up to me throughout the years saying that your music has had an incredible effect on me.
Yeah,
And it was just recently, Kevin, like, and I'm talking 4 or 5 years ago, where it really hit me that this music and music in general can
yeah,
affect someone. So I was really, as I write for the future, I always make sure that I'm a responsible writer because I'm that's the way I like to write. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I wanna continue to be a positive, um, person in someone's life, musically. And if you've ever met me in person, I don't think there'll be anyone on this chat here that'll say that they met me and I was a jerk.
yeah,
Never, because I respect every single person that's given me this life.
man.
And so every show, bro, every interview, everything I do in music, I really try to give it my all, even though you did interrupt Wheel of Fortune tonight, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
but you know what? Vanna and Pat would both appreciate that we're doing this because I think more people
I think
are
so, bro.
well, okay. So yeah, I see. This is cool, man. That was Shooty Hato. It says that was her in that picture. That that
Oh, killer.
you
She's on? That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, yeah.
That
So let
sign
me
touched me, bro. That sign touched me. Another one, I'll just tell you real quickly.
yeah,
I was doing a gaming event, and again, um, hey, Curdy, I see you on there, my brother Kurt Andrews. Johnny is
nice.
as true and honest as they come. Oh, thank you, bro. I try to be.
Yeah,
I was doing a gaming event, and I love these events, man. You got to think about this for a second. In the gaming world, good evening, gamers. They know what I'm
yeah,
doing. So that world started. So if you were a gamer back in like say, mid '90s, you might have been thought of as weird or odd, right?
sure.
Because like, oh, it's a gamer kid. It's a weird gamer kid. All he does is game, right?
Yeah,
And a lot of these people endured a lot of bullying, a lot of just bad times coming up as a
yeah,
kid.
right.
And to be able to do an event like I did in Santiago, Chile, with 20,000 people
Wow.
in the court, yeah, and have people crying, saying, "Look at us now! Look at us now!" And realizing, how important this music is,
Yeah,
and how important music can be to someone is why I keep doing it. So,
yeah.
but like I said, when I can't sing it anymore and I can't be me, that's when I will slow down. For right now, brother,
God,
game on. Let's
well,
go.
man, and really, you know, so we already said if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. You recognize that it's your obligation to the fans to be able to bring the best version of Johnny there too. When you talk about connecting with somebody like that, when and I mentioned 15-year-old Johnny and Joey, right, growing up in New York. Um, no matter who you are, whether you endured bullying or not, at that age, life is confusing. It doesn't make sense. Right now, in the age of
Right.
the internet, it's even more challenging. And
Brutal.
so, and really, I mean, anywhere that you can feel heard or respected or identified as a human being is really important. Who did that for
Yeah.
you, man, when you were younger? Who was the person that kind of was there to represent some humanity for you?
So I think it was my parents. I know my parents were the most incredible mother. Everyone thinks their mother and father are the best on the planet, and
Yeah.
that's wonderful. And you should. But my parents were the most supportive,
Mm.
incredible people on the planet. This was a dream, man. I was
Yeah.
8 years old when I started playing, and when my friends were playing with Tonka toys outside, I was in the house learning Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, okay.
And I'm 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
And I told my parent I had a tough time in school. I wasn't bullied.
Yeah.
Actually, I was. I was bullied by the principals. They had
Oh
no
yeah.
idea. It's an unbelievable story. They had no idea what I was doing. They thought it was a phase. They thought it was like just this kid, wants to be in a rock band. But I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and my parents supported that to the end. My first show with Hardline, my first show as an international artist was with Van Halen at the
Oh
Palace of Auburn Hills, Detroit.
no. Oh
50,
man.
55,000. And we used to, I try not to get all choked up, but
Yeah.
when my father was alive, he had this loud voice. I think that's where mine came from. Even though he wasn't a singer, he actually sang pretty good, but he wouldn't consider himself a singer. He would do this, woo-hoo, for his kids, rooting his kids on. And we used to laugh and say, Dad, someday when we're in this big arena, we're going to hear you. And bro, Palace Auburn Hills,
Mm.
55,000 people with Van Halen. My first show as an international artist.
My
Woo-hoo!
God.
There they were.
Brother.
My mother,
Wow.
my father, my grandmother standing on the
Mm.
seats. Do you remember the days when we used to stand on the
Yeah.
seats? Yeah,
Oh,
there they
such
were,
pride,
standing
man.
on the seats.
That
Incredible. So my parents were the ones who kept me. Go, Johnny, go. You got this. You got this. Go, go, go. To all their kids.
yeah.
But really,
That
it's incredible to
so
find these
ho-
days.
all their kids. So besides Joey, you have other siblings?
I do have my sister, my middle
Okay.
sister. So it's
Okay.
Joey's the oldest, my middle sister Dina, who's a doctor,
Okay.
and myself. I'm the baby.
Wow, man, that's the baby Johnny. I
Yeah,
you
baby.
know I know that people that are watching right there in the chat too. A lot of these people are talking about the impact that you had on them. One of my favorite things, this quote, and you and I first talked about coming on the show. I may have mentioned one of my favorite quotes ever. Jim Carrey gave this commencement speech to marketing students at Stanford, and in
Awesome.
this long speech, remember that speech, and he said he's
I
talking to
remember it.
people who are learning how to go out and make money. To be, the whole goal is to just chase the carrot, right? And he said, "Man, the effect you have on others is the greatest form of currency there is." And you got it, brother. I mean, you figured this out. And when I look at the people that are here in the chat, whether the music is what touched them, but a lot of these people have seen you perform or they've somehow engaged with you on Discord or something, but you made them feel special. And I think where they might not have support at home or, they might not have support in schools. I mean, so, and that's a lot of responsibility. And I'm not trying to put that on you, but I'm telling you, man, I'm really glad to see this side of Johnny Gioeli because I'm still back in the fanboy of loving Double Eclipse more than anything else, and knowing, you and I are musicians out working and feeling the
Right.
same responsibility. But it's
Yeah.
great to see some of these people that resonate with what you've made them feel.
Yeah, it is cool, man. And it is the ultimate reward. And I've never been driven by the economics in this game.
Thank God.
It's never been about money. It's never been about money for me because, the old cliche starving artist, believe every word of that, man. It's not
Yeah.
easy,
Yeah.
but to survive. And, music was fun. Music was really fun until you had to pay a mortgage. And then it's like,
Right.
wait a minute, I gotta pay a mortgage now. Anyway, but you're right. The ultimate currency is the effect you have on people with your creation.
Yeah.
And it still blows me away, man. I mean, I don't even really know. Well, first of all, these fans and everyone who's commenting, thank you guys. And I am reading, some of these chats. Thank you guys. So life's a bitch. It's not about Johnny. Thank God. Nice one, Pedro. So, yeah. It just the music keeps coming, bro. I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's take Enemy Eyes. So Enemy Eyes is a new metal project.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to. So I don't participate in any of the writing of the Axel Rudy Pell stuff. I
Okay.
just sing it. That's an Axel thing. It's his baby, and he's sends me the music. I learn it. We go through it. I sing it, and that's what it is. Now I've always wanted to do my own metal thing. And the coolest process with Enemy Eyes was I literally wrote it and sang it right here, right? Sing and
Wow.
kept everything. There were no changes, no edits. And I think
Really?
that is for me, like I really love the art in this. And like I was
Yeah.
saying before, like, okay, now I'm going to tell you, because I have to be full transparency. When I was coming up, I didn't like Flock of Seagulls,
No, of course. Yeah,
and
I was a rock guy
it
too.
was, yeah, it was too weird for me, right? It was like
Yeah.
this they and there was a big joke, and I'm sure he's a wonderful human. The guitar player, I said, if I ever see that guy, I was a little young punk. If I ever see that guy, I'm going to freaking hit him. Italian New Yorker. And I went to Lidditz, Pennsylvania, to Tate. It was a big lighting company, and Claire Brothers is there.
Yeah.
And who's there?
Oh
All
wow.
Flock of Seagulls guys.
Oh
And
no.
my brother hits me and goes, "Well, now's your chance. There you go." I'm like, "No, I'd never do that. I'd never do that."
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
God.
So don't ever don't make stupid comments like that. Anyway, yeah, what a great life, what a great career. The art, I find the art in everything, man. That's what's so cool. Like if you're not a songwriter, this
Yeah.
is for everybody. If you're not a songwriter, imagine taking this like blank piece of paper and starting. Just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about that, that's insane. And I'm a pretty religious guy, and I know that whatever comes out of me comes from a much higher power than me.
Okay.
But it still amazes me, Kevin, that the songs keep coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know how. But I
That's a
love the whole art in this thing, man.
that's a
It's a killer.
gift. That's a gift. I mean, really, you mentioned if people are out there that aren't songwriters, but one thing that you recognize, I think, from just talking to you is that everybody out there has a story, right? So,
Yeah.
and when you recognize that in people, when you're at these shows and you take the time to sit and talk to somebody, one thing I noticed, even just the first conversations that you and I had, you asked me more about me than, and I thought, all right, this is a guy who genuinely cares about people, and so uh, I think your parents raised you right. I'm curious to know, like, because you mentioned your sister and Joey. Uh, were you guys a real close family? Did you guys have because you mentioned the support of your parents too, but as siblings and as a family, okay, yeah, everybody. This is a true Italian New York family. You guys, holidays, man,
Full
everybody
on.
eats together at dinner every night.
We say this. We say tight like a duck's ass. That's watertight. All right,
Nice.
watertight. Yeah,
Yeah.
very,
That,
absolutely together. Together nonstop. Yep.
that, that's
Yep.
so what's going on with Joey? Are you guys like still working together?
So no, so Joey, still loves music and everything, but he
Sure.
took a more business path. We had a
Okay.
company together, and then he decided he wanted to just stay full board into business.
Okay.
And so he still operates a company, lives in California, and I was involved in that, and then just had that calling to get back into to music. And he also said, Johnny, you should be performing, man. You should get out
Yeah.
there and perform. So, and that's what I did. Yeah, my sister is my sister is incredible. Probably one of the brightest, besides my wife, one of the most brightest people I know. And she decided to become a doctor in her 50s. I was like,
Wow.
you know what? The years are coming. She's 2 years older than me. And she goes, the years are coming anyway. And she went, got her master's, and then she went and got her PhD. And she's an amazing therapist, and she's just one of the brightest gals I know.
I love
So
hearing
yeah,
that. And you mentioned your wife too. Here's another thing that people might not realize, and I'm guilty of this, man. The summer that your Hardline Double Eclipse record came out, I got married to my childhood sweetheart. We met when we were 12. We dated
what?
through junior high and high school. I got married that summer. I was married 28 years. Unfortunately, we're not still married, but she's my best friend. We're still so
Okay,
close. And
that's
one of the
awesome.
things that people thought was during the dissolution of that marriage was that, oh, yeah, touring life is just too hard. It is hard, man. And there's a lot of respect and connection that you've got to be able to have for each other. So tell me a little bit about relationships and how you've managed, because I know your schedule is nuts, dude. The fact that you're in the studio is one thing, but I know how often you're in Europe. You've got so much stuff that's still even being recorded for Hardline, and you've got Axis stuff.
Yeah,
And so how
brutal.
do you balance where you already mentioned kind of taking time for yourself in the boat, but how do you
Yeah,
take
but
time for your wife?
I think you said the key words, balance.
Yeah.
What I do is it's my family's important to me. I have two kids, and
Oh,
I also married my high school sweetheart. This May we're together 40 years.
wow!
40.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
she was 14. I was 15, and she's my Linnea, my Swede, and
Wow.
we strike the balance. It's easier today, I will tell you, because of this mixed blessing. This
Okay.
thing is a mixed blessing. This thing is either evil as hell
Right.
or it's like a godsend.
Yep.
But on the road, it's a godsend because we can FaceTime. We track where we are, so you can always see where I am. Oh, he's back to the hotel. He's there, and we just keep a great connection.
Yeah.
We're always FaceTime, and we have a routine. Every show that I do, before every show, bro, my wife has said on this thing, and I got the text, go be great. That's what
Oh,
she says. Go be
wow.
great. So she respects the gift, and she respects what it does for the people, and how important it is to them, how important it is for me to be with all these fans. I hate even using the word fans
I
anymore.
know.
It's
I'm
just
with
so
you.
weird to me.
Right.
They're like they're family. You know what I mean? It's a
Sure.
community.
Yeah.
It's and it's like if you've enjoyed my music for 30 plus years and you grew up with me, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like we're
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, buddy.
So
Your
yeah.
family.
So we it's balance. I
Yeah.
find, so like for example, I wanted to do a little fishing this morning, right? I
Yeah.
wanted, and you know what? You're not going to, only those who are really great fishermen are going to catch today. It's cold, man. The
Yeah.
water's 45 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius for the rest of the world, but it's freaking cold. You wouldn't want to swim in it. You would form icicles in places that you would have to thaw out with a hair dryer.
Right.
So, um, I make the time. So I wake up extra early if I want to
Mm.
do something for myself so that I can come back and I could be with you at lunchtime, or we could have that morning coffee together, whatever it is. I think life is balance and figuring out what that balance is. And that's why, people say, why haven't you played the United States? Why aren't you touring in the US? Why aren't you touring in the US? I got to be honest with you, Kevin, and I'm sorry to the US. It would be so easy to tour here in the US. Get on a tour bus and go. Oh my God. Because sometimes I'm on trains, planes, tour buses. I'm in 3, 4 countries in one day. I'm going
Right.
like a maniac, right? It would be easy. But here's why I don't want to do it. Because when I'm back in the US, I want to be dad. I
Mm.
want to be husband.
Yeah.
I want to be Johnny. And you remember the years when we came up, you couldn't go to a restaurant without being like
Yeah.
almost attacked. And I don't
Right.
mind that. I love that. I love when the fans run up, and I love sign. I never turn anyone down for any of that stuff. It's special to me. Interrupt me anytime you want. But in order to create that balance for my family, I prefer to leave my country to work and then come back, and then my wife tells me to put out the trash, and I say I have people to do that. And she says, put out the damn trash, boy. I'm like,
Yeah, that's back to reality, my man. That's
yeah,
it.
man. I'll tell you.
There is something to leaving a hotel room and not having to make your bed every day. I know, man. Like, are you make
Right?
it? Actually, are you one of those guys that makes your bed though when you leave for the
Oh,
venue?
okay. So, man, I am one of those guys who cleans up the hotel room.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't leave like something just, no, I put the pillows back. Yeah, that's me, bro.
All right,
I
yeah,
put the pillows back on the bed. So for all of you who are not musicians that are listening or watching, imagine Kevin and our touring life. Do you know how sometimes you complain? This is for the people, Kev.
yeah,
How you complain, oh, my bed, I need a sleep number. I got to adjust the bed. Imagine a different bed. No, imagine this. Imagine a different toilet every day of your life.
yeah.
Every day, a different bed. It's soft, it's hard, it's medium, it's small, it's big. It's not a life for everyone, but it's a life I love and I
And
chose.
we are very blessed human beings, you and me, man. We really are.
Yeah.
I do you mind me asking how old the boys are, or your kids are?
Sure. My son is 19,
Okay.
and now he goes to a lot of events with me, and my daughter is 26.
Okay.
We had a loss in between. We would have had more kids, but
I'm
yeah, it's
sorry.
okay. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, so 26-year-old daughter who lives next to, really like 5 minutes from Bobby Rondinelli,
Okay.
and in Long Island, and my son who's in university, who's 19, my
Okay.
Brandon. Yeah.
Either one of the kids musicians, or they have an aspiration to want to play?
They both sing really well. They're both musical, but both not taking that path. And
Yeah.
I probably because they see how damn hard I work. Like,
Right.
no, this shit's not for me. We'll
Yeah.
let dad do that. So
Well, not everybody
yeah,
has the constitution you do. I mean, really, that's the thing. That it's not for the faint of heart. Things seem glorious right on the outside until you see some of the mundane stuff or the stuff that you go through.
yeah,
But I wouldn't complain about
yeah,
it. Every time I'm tired when I wake up and yeah, you're in a different hotel room and you're playing a different
yeah,
venue. You show up so many hours early for sound check, and maybe you have issues with sound check, and you realize, wow, this whole day kind of got blown trying to prepare for an amazing show. And once the curtain drops, right, when the crowd is there and you hear the warm up, the goosebumps come every time, right? When the lights are down and the announcement starts, and I've told my boys, you can't explain it. It's like talking to somebody else who doesn't have kids, what it's like to be a parent. You can't tell them unless they've done it. But once you get
right,
that opportunity to be on stage, you're hooked, man. And
yeah, bro,
I mean, like, and if you take that for granted, then screw you. You shouldn't be doing it in the first
right,
place, right? But
right,
I,
exactly,
I,
exactly.
I see that there's people talking about sound engineers here on the chat. This is an aside, and it just made me think of something because we had a show the other day, El Paso, this like Saturday. That something happened to the sound guy, so they had to bring somebody else in. The guy warned me. He said, "Hey, man, I'm not familiar with the gear. They had an emergency, so I'm just telling you, it's going to take me a little bit of time." We spent 3 hours on a sound check. It was a nightmare
Yeah,
sound check, and I knew it was going to be a tough show. When the show happened and I had nothing in monitors and I wasn't wearing in-ears and we were just using a wedge for speakers and there's nothing coming out, I was like asking politely, right? Hey, can you give me a little bit more? And I've seen guys lose it on stage, right? Now you and I both know the crowd has no idea what's going on stage and they don't need to know if there's something there, right? So like losing your cool ruins the experience for all those people. Have you had any situations like that where you've had to just go, okay, I got to roll with this, and I'm gonna put on a big smile. I'm gonna put my Johnny Gioeli smile on here. But any experiences where it's just been it's worked your challenge a little bit?
yeah, definitely. Some that I can recall. One where I lost my cool and started kicking monitors. This is the days before in ears, and
Yeah,
I just started on a kicking rampage. Was definitely not a professional musician at that moment, but I just lost it. That comes from pure exhaustion. You just want it to go right, and it doesn't. And
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, there's been a lot of nights, where it's just not quite. You just have to get through it and make it work for the people. And sometimes, even if when I feel I'm not in perfect voice, I'll say, okay, I don't feel like I'm in perfect voice, so I'm going to give them something even more. So then the theatrics will be even more. I try to make up, for
yeah.
what I can. If I'm a little tired here, I'll go stronger here. Just do whatever I possibly can. But yeah, plenty of nights like that where I saw Kurt, my buddy Kurt, just made mention. We literally had a sound engineer that was deaf.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's tough.
How do you bring in an engineer that is I'm not, almost deaf?
Right.
Just I
Yeah.
was like, excuse me, we need a little more of this, huh? We need a little more of that, huh? And then one of the crew guys like, that engineer is a little deaf. I'm like,
Oh,
so there you go, bro.
wrong
Have a day
job.
like that. Really?
Oh,
Really?
no.
Wrong job.
You're right. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's time to find a new
Oh,
hustle.
oh man, brutal.
I
But all in
Well,
all, I've been really blessed. Oh, something that Todd Jensen said, bro, because
yeah,
you made the comment,
yeah,
Kevin, of like when the lights go out, right?
yeah.
So, we were on tour with Extreme. We played
Mm,
Wembley, sold out. We've played the biggest arenas in the world. And they would radio, you know how radio lights in five, four, and also
yeah.
and the crowd. So we were always in a huddle at that point. Yeah. And Todd Jensen used to always say, great gig when you can get it. And it's really true, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know. I don't know that I could survive as a new artist in this world
Right.
today.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to do it. Now, you know, it's like, how are you heard?
Mm,
How does it happen
right.
today? It's so just amplified and multiplied and geez, hard now, man. I feel really badly. I,
Well,
I should just say I'm just so glad that I'm on the down slope of my career and not on the start because man, it's
you,
hard out there.
I mean, the only way I think you can is the way that you're doing this here. Right now, you've got this assemblage of people that discovered you through your pairing with, the gaming community. And wherever you can find an alliance, because that's what the internet is, right? Like social media is about having a social network of people that are going to be supportive if you
Right.
provide a good or service that's a benefit to them, right? So that's what
Yes.
you've done. And my whole ranting and raving about my love for your voice is that your voice is different than a lot of people out there in a way that you've got a gift, man, that is it's touched me in a really positive way. I see
Thank you.
people talk same sort of things. I'm going to ask a favor of you, and this is a super selfish thing to do, but because you're like I said, man, that double Eclipse record, it's on my Mount Rushmore. It's like one of my favorites.
Thanks.
Um,
Mine too.
and and the fact that I got you away from Wheel of Fortune for a little bit of time here means that
I'm just kidding about that.
I'm going to put you on bigger here. I'm going to ask, man, if you could just give me a little bit of hands of time. Do you mind doing a little acapella? Is that cool?
I don't mind at all. Living every moment, holding on to a dream, staring at an empty page, will it come to me? And I wonder, will the light ever shine on me? Is that enough?
Wow, man, unbelievable! Yeah, that I got the goosebumps. I'm sure everybody else out here too. Like all these people are like, get it loud, and this is great, man.
Yeah.
This is
That's Luna. That's a shout out to Luna, Alina, or whatever.
or whatever.
I always joke, or whatever. She's got like 17 names, and I
Oh,
always give her a hard time on our Crush 40 Discord. Anyone
oh,
listening who doesn't know about this Discord, Crush 40 Discord, it's a lot of fun. I pop in a lot. We talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, man. I love this
man.
Discord stuff.
Man,
It's cool.
well, so this is streaming on my heavy metal Discord, and I never
Cool.
target that. I never get on Discord. My kids are telling me that I'm totally missing out. So it's out there,
Dude,
and
you
maybe
got it. It's so awesome.
this is
It's
this
so
is
awesome.
this is there. Maybe one of you guys can actually, let me know a little bit more about how to better use it. But let me just say, I oftentimes I wrap these up. I love to find people's guilty pleasures, man. I mean, I love it when somebody can tell me a little bit because people think they know Johnny G, right? They've got to know you through the Crush 40, Discord, or but people that think they know you, what might be they surprised by? What's a guilty pleasure that Johnny Gioeli doesn't mind sharing here?
Oh man, bro, that's a really tough one because I am. The kids are gonna say I'm all of me because it's a song I wrote. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm full transparent, bro. Shoot, man.
Okay.
I do like to sneak out once in a while to McDonald's, bro, and grab one of those caramel sundaes
Oh,
for
okay. Yeah.
Christmas.
So, all right. Yeah. So the Swedes, because
I mean,
yeah,
that's as bad as it gets for me, I think.
that's
I
a
don't know, unless
that's a
someone wants to.
well. Okay. What's
That's
something that
terrible.
what would people be surprised if we looked at your playlist and I was digging through your songs, right? And between Axel Rudy Pell's songs and Scorpions tunes, what am I? What? Oh, well, there's a Backstreet Boys song. What might I be surprised by?
Oh shoot. Man, I don't. What do you mean? There's a Backstreet Boys song? What are you
No,
talking
I
about?
was kidding. I was kidding. No, I was just
Oh,
pretending that
okay.
that's what you know.
But I love the Backstreet Boys.
Do you? Well, that's
You
a New
are
York band.
my fire. Yeah, exactly.
No
I don't
guilt
know.
there.
No, but there is something that a lot of people don't really know. I am a bit like Bruce Dickinson. I'm a pilot. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know
So
that.
yeah. So I've been flying airplanes, and my daughter's 26, like 25 years. And one of my most favorite things to do, bro, is to rescue dogs. I'm a big
Oh,
dog,
yes.
yeah, big dog guy, and so I use the airplane to rescue dogs from kill shelters. I love doing all that kind of stuff, and I don't have enough time to do it. So there you go.
That's Edgar Allan Pug right there. There's my dog with his purple mohawk. I'm sorry,
So
but I'm a big dog guy. I love hearing you do that.
so I will tell you, I am a very sensitive guy. I did a show in I was in Bulgaria, and I was staying at this hotel, and there's a lot of stray dogs, and this
Yeah,
dog. So I'm just gonna tell you something about me that people may not know.
sure.
And this little stray dog just kept coming up to me, and it was like a combo of my two dogs. And I just lost a dog
Oh, buddy.
about 3 weeks ago. Devastated
Oh,
me. But
God, man.
anyway,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
my little Alice, yeah, devastated me. So this little dog in Bulgaria, I talked to the mayor there, and I said, listen, if you ever want me to come back to Bulgaria and play again, someone needs to rescue this dog. I said, I'll buy the food for 2, 3 years. I don't care. This dog must be rescued. It was like some connection. And bro, I cried like a damn baby for a week on airplanes, in limousines, backstage. People are like, oh, Johnny's so emotional on stage. No, I was crying over that dog. So I'm a
Wow.
very sensitive guy, and I I don't know. I just think we should be emotional for things that we care about. But anyway,
I love it.
dogs, forget about it. That's the soft spot for me.
Forget
That's
about
the
it.
soft
Like
spot.
how Tony Soprano of you, man. He was ducks, but you're dogs, man.
Tony.
I love it, man. You know, I feel like so many of the points that you just made are not only just impactful to me. I mean, this meant the world to me to have you on the show. But I really see
Thank
this
you, brother.
connection you make with these people here too, and the fact that you're doing this in Bulgaria and places around the world, man, where you can make an impact. You've used your gift for good. So I applaud you for using your
Thank you.
superpower for the right things, man.
Thank you,
So
brother. Thank you,
I
man.
I hope, guys, if you're watching this and you haven't gone through Johnny's catalog, do me a favor. He just consolidated like all of his social media and everything into the one link that you see below. So go to johnnygmerch.com and help this man in performing and getting his superpower out there, because you guys have all been the benefit of it, but there are other people that need to be discovering Johnny Gioeli's voice. You and
Thank
I,
you, brother.
Mr. Gioeli, I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm dying to see you play
Me too,
live.
Kevin.
Never got to see you play live, and I was,
Oh
like
man.
growing up in Montana, Hardline was just never making the rounds, right? So, but
Yeah, I
but
don't recall hitting the venue in Montana.
I'll
Don't
go to
recall it.
Europe to see you now. Now I got plenty of
Come on,
airline,
bro. Let's go.
dude, airline
Let's
miles
go.
to the cows come home. So, um, with the Johnny G merch link, is there a calendar for your shows there?
No, that you would have to find on my pages. And listen, I'm going to tell you, everyone, and my people know this. I'm a social media idiot, so I don't even know what you find me. Just
Yeah,
Google me, and I consolidated because there was Crush 40 pages, Hardline pages,
yeah,
Enemy Eyes pages. I couldn't take it anymore, and
yeah.
I wanted to bring the community together all in one easy place. And so, if you want to know what's going on with Hardline, Axel, Enemy Eyes, Crush, it'll all be in one spot. The merch that you have up, that's strictly merchandise
Okay,
to buy. I don't want anybody spending too much money. It's more important to buy food and good health stuff before you buy my t-shirts.
good
That comes
man.
last. Okay. And then we're charitable with that money too. My family, we're all about the charity. So
God,
I love to give back. And so when you buy, we give. So that's the way it
nice,
works.
man.
Kevin, dude, when you get off the road when are you getting out off the road? 2028? When you're
2020.
off the road,
Yeah.
let's go, man. Let's do something. Let's hang.
I'm
Come
not
on.
joking. Don't even tempt me, man. I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
We've got shows back over in your direction too. So got some New York shows coming up in June. It's not far from you, man. So
I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm here in June, bro.
Okay, let's
Okay,
make it
we'll
happen.
make the trek. We'll get together. Kevin, thank you for having me. You are an incredible human. Thank you, bro. Thank
Right
you
back
for all
at
your
you.
support, for all you do. For this is just amazing what you do for all the people. It's a great show.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for thinking about me and having me on the show. It's been just a great time. Thank you, brother.
I'm grateful, man. And thank you guys too. Everybody that's been here in the chat, thanks for supporting this. More importantly than anything, yes, you guys are wonderful. But Johnny, thank your wife for sharing you with us for an hour and 20 minutes, man. This has been a beautiful thing. If you guys
Thank
got
you.
here
I'll let her
late,
know.
go to accesskevin.com. This will be archived there. Plenty of information. I'll have Johnny's links up there as well. And again, subscribe to the channel because I want you to go back and look. Got some fun guests and great ones coming up too. Mr. Gioeli, you are a gentleman and a scholar.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for your
brother. You
time,
too, bro.
pal. Everybody have a
Thank you,
great
brother.
day. Be good humans.